have finally arrived inside Bharat Mandapam, and perhaps it's the grandeur and the level, the standards that India has set when it comes to international media center was something unexpected, and you know, we are inside this grand structure which has been built by India in perhaps less than 1 year, and we have this 2-floor setup for media, and this particular media center is just few meters away from the main building where leaders are going to meet. There you can see that's the reception area which has been created so that if foreign journalists walk in, or for that matter Indian journalists walk inside this international media center, so if they want to know more about this entire structure, that which facility is available where, so they can contact the receptionist right there at the reception. Then there are maps available. The screens have been placed here, and you know, one can easily get to know the exact location of what is which place is located where. You know, if somebody wants to go to use the washroom, so here you have a look. So this is a map of this entire structure. So if you want to use the toilet, or you want to use a lounge area, or for that matter you want to go on the first floor, then this is a map which has been this is a screen which has been set up, so one can easily access the map. So a journalist who is reporting inside this Bharat Mandapam, this international media center, doesn't have to go and ask anyone about the routes or you know, the location. So it's very easily one can understand. So there you see this is a ramp area. Then the section has been divided, the halls have been divided and have been given the names like of river: Brahmaputra, Yamuna, Ganga, Godavari, Krishna. Then there is media briefing room 3, media briefing room 2, 1, then primary media control room, holding area, and secondary media control room, medical rooms, AV control room, office 2, office 1. So that is how it is. So, you know, this is the entire complex of Bharat Mandapam, and for the easy, you know, for the ease of the journalists, those who are going to report from here, this particular. So now let's see where the dining area is. So I have clicked on this dining area, and now there you see. So I am right now standing here, and if I have to go to dining area, it's on this side, it's on my right. So this is how easily these maps have been designed. The technology has been used for people, and look, you know, the entire location, the route is being explained on this screen. Now delegation offices. So I click on this delegation offices, and I want to go to country office number 1 that belongs to Canada, and country office number 2 that belongs to USA. So I want to go to USA's office. So I click on this USA office, and there you see again the route is being explained. Hall 5 entrance is being explained on this screen, and one can easily, if go through this map carefully, then you know, a journalist reporting from here on ground doesn't have to ask for routes or location. There you see the senior officials from the government of India. Arindam Bagchi, JSXP, is right here taking stock of the situation, at the same time speaking to journalists, talking to them and explaining to them that how this entire international media center is going to function. Mr. Bagchi was the first one to reveal it by uploading video on Twitter of Ministry of External Affairs, that how this media center is going to look like. Now let's move ahead and show some other places inside this media center. There you see these are the workstations that have been built. So there are in total 1,500 workstations, out of which 400 are equipped with desktops, and then the other workstations are for people, those who are carrying their laptops. You know, some are going to report through Mojo technology, through their cell phones. So the arrangements have been made. The entire center is Wi-Fi enabled. There are large screens with the BR codes on them. So when the conference will start, when the summit will start, we'll get the live feed on these screens. At the same time, when the arrival of the leaders will begin, at that point in time also we'll get the live feed on these screens. Now, on my left you can see the food arrangements. There is proper arrangement of food, lunch, dinner, breakfast. Everything is going to be here inside this roof. So under one roof, everything has been arranged, and the idea behind developing these kind of workstation, these kind of media center has always been because a lot of delegates, foreign journalists travel. They are new to the place. If they will go out to eat, if they have to move out to eat or to procure something, that will take time and it will increase the security concern also. So once you enter inside International Media Center, then you don't have to worry about anything. It's the government, the host country is going to take care of everything. So now there you see that's kind of a setup where all flags, I can see flags of various countries, then the various organizations which are participating, their flags are also placed there. I can see World Bank flag, I can see United Nations flag, I can see flag of Saudi Arabia, United Kingdom, Argentina, India, China. The flags are right here. And there is water arrangement. You can see that fridge placed right at the corner. So those such kinds of refrigerators are available everywhere. So if you're thirsty and if you want to have a water, you don't have to walk or go outside of the media center. So the idea is to make everything available inside one roof. Now, it's a huge media center. There you see. I was explaining to our viewers on map that how the sections have been divided, the halls have been divided, Ganga, Yamuna, and Brahmaputra. The names of river have been given to these halls. Now look, I was showing it on map. Now I'll show you in practical. That is the Yamuna section. Then behind that is Ganga section. Now this one is Godavari on my right. I would ask my video journalist to pan and give sense to the viewer. This is the Godavari hall. That's a lounge area, proper lounge area for dignitary. Then that's the Krishna hall on my left. So, lot has been done by MEA, and perhaps MEA was very excited. Ministry of External Affairs was very excited to showcase this international media center. And even 3-4 months back when we used to go to Ministry of External Affairs, they used to tell us that this is going to be one thing which we want to showcase to the world. This is going to be something where we want to set standards. Any which ways, India is setting standard by conducting the G20 presidency in terms of the consensus that have been built on many other issues. But when it comes to the setting standard with regard to the accommodation, hospitality for the media, the journalists, dignitaries, those who are coming from outside the country, that is something which was on Prime Minister's mind. And this is the reason that a result of that is this huge, magnificent, spacious, comfortable, fully equipped with Wi-Fi and other amenities, this lavish media center, which is going to be home for more than 2,600 journalists all across the world.
The flags right behind me denotes all the member countries of the G20. It also exemplifies that how, despite the fact that they are different countries, all of them are actually going to be coming together in this entire pitch which India has made of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam. Right at the International Media Center, this is exactly where we are going to get you all the reports from and about the G20 summit. So what are the quick takeaways? To my mind, the two main points which come up is, of course, as I mentioned, Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, one family, one future, something which the Prime Minister has been stressing on. And along with this, what is synonymous is the Vishwamitra concept, which means India is a friend of the world. We've been talking about this, we've been reporting about this. The fact is that these are not very easy times. In a post-COVID world, the economic growth for many countries has been sluggish. In fact, in some of them, the recession has begun to hit. People are still very cagey about, spending money. They prefer saving and hoarding money, which means the demand and supply chain gets affected. That's one. Many countries are now becoming inward looking, which is that they don't want others to come in. They don't want to look beyond their geographical barriers and frontiers. And that is what India as a presidency wants to break. We do understand the concerns. That's what India says about the world. But at the same time, extreme protectionism doesn't really work. What is it that India is looking at? Now, many would criticize us for saying, oh, you also believe in self-reliance or Atmanirbharta. Yes, it does. But that doesn't mean that we can be denied our aspirations. The Prime Minister, through Digital India, Skill India, has talked about several startups. And the whole idea of startups is that our dependence on imports will start coming down, especially on key sectors, whether it's defense, whether it's aviation, and all kind of industries. That should start coming down. But we are also open to foreign investment. There are areas where we do want these countries to start looking at India as a good investment hub. Now, for example, the Apple Store that started manufacturing in India. That is something which we really want to encourage. We've opened our doors to Apple because we also want the people over here get employment. Indigenously built Apple phones, which we can all flaunt very proudly, is also one of the hallmarks of this G20 summit. Not that the focus is going to be on trade and economic policies. We've spoken about the cryptocurrency for that matter. That is something which India has successfully managed to put it on the agenda. Many countries were reticent about it. India acknowledges the fact that this is extremely popular, can no longer be avoided, but it's also a dark, unknown world. And this world also needs to be regulated and monitored. And that's exactly what the cryptocurrency essentially is going to be all about. That's on the agenda. Apart from that, the whole concept of taxation, which means many of the social media giants, Facebook for that matter, X, they make a huge amount of revenue by operating from India. Some of the major, online giants like Amazon also do. What India's objection has been is that they get taxed only once in their country. They don't pay any tax to us where they are successfully operating from. This is also something which we put on the agenda and something which we want to convince the G20 members that you have to look at this larger goal where we actually can put forward the entire point of view. And of course, climate. That is going to be a huge stress which comes in or by the Prime Minister, the carbon footprints any product places, and therefore there should be a taxation, high taxation on those companies which provide, which lead to greater carbon footprints, which means more kind of a pollution, and therefore that will act as a deterrent. So this is a very key G20 summit, and India's legacy essentially would be to try and point out to the world that we can have our individual interests protected, but at the same time, we also need to understand that at the end of the day, it's one world, and one world also means one future.